Up next, we have Dawne Jacoby, and I've known her for a couple of years. She's fantastic. And this is a very different type of setup than you might see from most people. So, Dawne Jacoby is co-founder of Grit to Grace, and alongside her partner and fiance, Larry Ambrose, through keynote speaking, coaching, consulting, workshops, and training, their primary focus is teaching leaders how to optimize their executive function so they can lead their teams more effectively, as well as introducing the concept of humanizing the workplace to improve company culture. Let's hear it for Dawne.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to have a little different spin, but we're very similar. So my company, Grit to Grace, is on a mission to humanize the workplace. And one of the ways in which we are doing that is challenging the way the current interview process is handled. And I'm speaking specifically about the digital scanning technology as first step, which many times eliminates candidates without a college degree. So I'm going to share a little bit more about that in a second, but first I want to share a personal story. So on August 15th, 1987, at the age of 16 and a half years old, I left home with the clothes on my back, no plan in place, to escape the abuse that was consuming me. After my mother threw me down a flight of stairs, I realized that the abuse was only going to escalate. So the only way out was to leave, and so I did it, and I never came back. So 2 months later, I was turning 17, and I was starting my senior year of high school, which most kids in their senior year are enjoying the beginnings of their senior year, planning, joining clubs and groups, where I was simply just trying to survive and figure out life. I was making adult decisions such as, where will I live? What will I eat? What clothes will I wear? How much money do I need to make? How many jobs do I actually need to do? Because these were adult decisions that no senior should ever have to make in their lifetime. Unfortunately, college was not an option for me, not by choice, but due to my life circumstances. There's a stigma that one without a college degree is not as worthy or good as one with a college degree. And I'm here to challenge that. And so, I'll wait for the next slide. So I realized today that this took incredible grit, determination, strength, courage to live through what I lived through. And these skill sets are actually very transferable into the business, into the workplace. And if somebody came to me and I was hiring somebody that had these skill sets, I actually would hire them in a second over what their resume says. And this developed an incredible work ethic in me because I had to prove myself and work extra hard just to get an interview because most people wouldn't even consider me. So as I continued to navigate my corporate career and climb the corporate ladder, many times I was sat down and told, Dawne, I'm sorry, I know you as a person and I know you're capable, but I cannot get you through to the next step, which was the first step, because you don't have the college degree. So I was many times rejected and disqualified, which lit a fire in me because I knew I could do the job and maybe even better than the other candidates. So every once in a while I got lucky and I did get a sit-down face-to-face interview, and it was in those interviews that I was actually able to share my talent, my experience, and actually a little bit about my life and why I didn't go to college. I felt the need to justify it. But in those interviews, I was told many times that I was actually overqualified compared to the other candidates because of what I've experienced. And this comes from a mindset. So sometimes we weigh people on their skill set, but the mindset is more valuable, in my opinion, because do they have what it takes to persevere rejection, or do they have the grit? So while technology is here to stay and it's very important, I don't think it should be the first step in interviewing or considering a candidate, because you might miss out on a key quality candidate like myself. So HR is no doubt overwhelmed, especially with the volume of resumes that have come through and the limited resources and every other job that you have to do. And I know you need a better system for sure. But this man is a perfect example, not HR, but he was the president of a company that I was interviewing for. And I interviewed 9 times for this position, and he sat in on every single interview. And his feedback to me was invaluable. He said to me, Dawn, although you did not have the credentials that everybody else had that you were up against, you by far, I chose you every single time. And the reason was because you had the ability to communicate effectively, which would then translate in the workplace, in the field where I needed you. And that would then bring in the business we needed. So again, AI, it's here to stay, we know that. But in my opinion, we still need to have the human touch. We need to have sit-down conversations with people just to give them a chance and let them try to explain their talent and their capabilities. And so Viral saw these qualities in me and these skill sets, and he valued them, and he brought that to the organization. And today, to this day, he still runs his organizations the same way. So I say, humanize your workplace and take the chance on the person without the college degree. They just might be your best employee and the most valuable, hardworking, and dedicated. I don't have finished on that.
You did it.